I really need to do better intros. So this video actually at first was supposed to be me talking about when I accepted that I was trans, but I'm gonna make them into two different videos because in reality today my head's very scrambled and I don't really know what I'm talking about, and most of this video to the start about me coming out or accepting that I was trans just isn't really making much sense right now, and it was going to turn mainly because it was going to turn into one very long video, because when I do actually start getting into the rhythm of talking about actually coming out, especially to my parents, I want you to see that part right now because that's making the most sense. So this video is going to be all about me coming out to my parents and, you know, just a general realization of how everybody else was. So, and you can hear my dog scratching in the background. Yeah, so this is what that video is going to be, and then I'm going to make another video which is kind of not in the right order because you'd think that the realising when I was trans should come first. But I'm not very organised, so this is what's going to happen. So yeah, enjoy. So basically, few people knew back in like kind of the end years of high school, I took a lot of time to figure it out, and then it came around the time of being in sixth form, and I kind of knew it myself then. Like accepted it myself, not knew it, I already knew it. But I accepted it and I was ready to do something about it. And so when it kind of got to the end of the last year of sixth form, probably June, July, something like that, I told some other people. I actually told people like I am transgender. Like I started to tell my friends and things like that. I started to, and they were dead positive about it. Like people, anybody I told, it was really cool. I didn't want to tell too many people because I hadn't told my parents yet, and I just, not that it mattered, but I didn't want it to get to them before I could tell them. Not that it would, but it was just me being scared in my head. And I knew they'd be okay with it. I just knew that it would take a lot of explaining because I know my parents and they are probably one of the most accepting people in the world. Like they've been amazing. And to be honest, even before I told them, I knew that they'd be expecting it, waiting for it. Like I I don't think it would have been much of a surprise, but it still was scaring me so much to tell them because I knew that I could tell anybody else I wanted to, but as soon as I told them, that's when it really became real. So they weren't the last people I told, but they were the main people that was important that were okay with it. So at the end of the day, those that mind don't matter and those that matter don't mind is kind of the point of when it came to the thought of me coming out to everybody. I was like, if you don't accept me for it, then you don't need to be in my life because I'm not going to change who I am to please you. It's not your life, it's mine. So that was kind of eventually that was the head I took towards it. And it wasn't that I really cared what other people think, but obviously when it comes to your parents, you want them to accept it. Like, no matter what you say, like, oh, I don't care if they do or don't, it's not going to change me. And that's a good thing to go by it too. But if they don't accept it, it can make things. So it's probably about just before September, something like that. I'm really bad with dates, as you probably realise from the rest of this video. But it came to that time, and it was, I started an art foundation course, so I don't know if it was just before that or just after that, because I went into this foundation course as my old name with old pronouns. But I think my parents did know, so I think it was just before, it was just before we started, so it's probably just before September 2016. And I remember I was going for a meal with them, and I've been trying to psych myself up to tell them for a long time, and my mates were kind of saying to me, they were like, "Oh, you should tell them tonight," and I was like, maybe. And my maybe in my head was like, no way. just because I was trying to put it off as best I could. I was pretty sure that I already came out to my sister before this. I'm skipping out like this. I told my sister before this, and she was amazing with it. She knew that I was gonna wait a bit to tell my parents. Yeah, she'd been dead cool. She'd been dead cool with all of it. But yeah, so I told her. So she was also one of the main people I wanted to know that I knew would be fine, but it's still scary. So yeah, she knew. A few weeks later, or maybe a month time now, I went to this meal with them, and I was sweating the entire time, and you cannot get anything past my mum. Let's just say that. Like, I love my dad, but he can be oblivious to stuff like this when you want to tell him something, but my mum is just on it. Like, she knows when something's wrong, and that's exactly what happened. And I had my mates messaging at me at the time, just trying to egg me on to tell them and giving me motivation, all that. And at the beginning of the night, I was like, oh yeah, probably, but I knew I wouldn't. But then it actually started to become like, okay, let's just do it. And I remember texting my mum across the table going, I need to tell you something. I think my dad was at the table, but then I think he went to the toilet. Or I think he went to the toilet and then I texted my mum that, because she knew that I was. So then basically, they both knew that I wanted to tell them something at this point, and I was so scared. It wasn't even the scared that, it was just because this was the final thing. This was, even though I had a lot of other people to tell, telling my parents, who have known me my whole life as my old name, and they were about to get a son. So it was, scary. And basically, the conversation went something like, I'm not just gay, and this doesn't make any sense. Like, I'm just rambling out, like, and I was like, I'm more than that. And my dad said, are you bisexual? Which made me laugh quite a lot, because I was like, no, that's not going backwards, but not. It was very rambly, just like this right now. This is exactly how it went. And then all of a sudden my mum went, are you transgender? And I said, yeah. So she just guessed it straight off the bat. Like, that was it was a bit of relief and a bit of like, oh my god, kind of moment. And I said that, and my dad was a little bit confused for like a minute, because he didn't think that's what I meant. And I was like, yeah. And I'm not gonna lie, it did get very overwhelming, but like they were amazing. Like, but telling them was a huge release for me. And there was going to be a lot of explaining, a lot of talking, because they knew what transgender was, but they didn't really know what kind of came about with it if you want to transition. So I knew I was going to have to explain all that. I knew I was going to have to explain a lot, because I'd never spoken to them about this before. But that night, just telling them was enough for me. And like, they were really good about it. I couldn't talk to them much because my mind was just like, oh my god, I've told them, sort of thing. And I literally said I need to go home, and I walked home and I cried. This sounds really strange because they've just been amazing, but it was so overwhelming for me. And it was just the thought that they knew, because my whole life, looking back at it now, I've always been this way, and accepting it for so long, and also the idea of actually being able to do something about it is amazing, but really overwhelming at first. So now I think about it, it makes sense, and I did get upset, but it was a happy upset, but a release. And yeah, so that was kind of coming out to my parents, and since then it's been almost a year, a couple of months off a year of actually telling them, and they've been nothing but amazing. Like, they really have. I'll make another video about, being how parents are, being trans and all that, and advice and stuff, but they have really been amazing. They've supported me so much, except for my nan, which, yeah, I'm not going to go into too much detail about that, but my nan is one of them people. She's one of them people, but she doesn't know that I'm trans, but I don't really see her very often. And to be honest, she's one person I don't think she needs to know. I'm not giving people advice not to tell their relatives because it could go badly, because it's better that they know you for you. I have a grandma who, like, the other one, who's on my dad's mum, who's absolutely amazing. Like, she's unbelievable. Like, she started getting my name and pronouns before anybody else did, really. It was brilliant. And she's the one I'm closer to anyway. So if anyone like that was going to be really cool about it, I'm glad it was her. But yeah, when it comes to the nan, it's complicated. But there's probably other people out there who have the same situation. But when it comes to your parents, everybody's got much different situations and relationships with them. And luckily, I've been in a really lucky position where I felt safe to come out to them both times, and they've really took it on, and they're ready to help me do, like, however they, you know, whatever they need to do to help. And I've never felt so lucky for that. Days are really hard, but remembering that I have a really good support around me is amazing. And everybody else in the family that I came out to was amazing. Some people needed it just explaining to, but it didn't mean that they didn't accept it. And at the end of the day, when it came to me changing my name and pronouns, it was a big change for everyone, because even though a lot of people expected it, it's one thing expecting it, and then it's another thing actually having to take on a new name and new pronouns after 18, 19 years of it. And the thing is as well, before you get frustrated or angry with someone who slips up, put yourself in their position, because at the end of the day, imagine if your sibling or your parent or anyone you've been close with for a long time decides to change their pronouns or their name, and you've got to remember and learn them. It just takes time, and you can tell the difference between someone who's just slipping up and somebody who's doing it to be mean. So just people who are being kind about it, trying the hardest. You know, there's nothing wrong with reminding people. I don't quite have the confidence to do that, but at this point now, everybody's basically on it. And, you know, so yeah, coming out for me was quite a bit of a blur, and a lot of fear, but in the end, it was definitely worth it. And I'm at the point where I am now, and if I hadn't have really bit the bullet and done it, especially not with my parents, then I probably wouldn't even be where I am with everything right now. So yeah, that was my experience. It'd be really cool if I could hear anybody else's. If anyone else wanted to talk about their experience of coming out as trans, or if they've got any questions about how to do it. I know this video sounded very rambly, like I didn't even know what I was doing, but I think after now, I'm so glad that I did, and I'm just like, I really wouldn't be where I am now if I hadn't. And at the end of the day, like I said before, if someone doesn't accept you when you come out, if someone you've been friends with or family with, and they don't accept you because you're a different person than you were 2 seconds ago, which isn't true. You're exactly the same person, the same personality, you're just you. And they should love you for who you are, no matter how or who that turns out to be, what gender, doesn't matter. And if they really don't come to terms with it and really don't accept you for it, then you should never let that change who you are. Never not come out or never do what you want to do because of somebody else, because you will regret it. So yeah, I'll probably end up posting this video. It's probably going to be a lot shorter than I'm ending up to be, because there's a lot of rambling that I probably will cut out. But if not, enjoy my ramble. Right, I'll see you soon.